BARTALK.
Here we are.
Thanks, Pablo,
June.
June 2nd already, man. And thanks for having me over. Place looks great, right?
Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. Appreciate it. It's always good to have you here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a crazy year, but it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're just seeing just a lot of buyers out there that have gotten pre-approved, just struggling. Multiple offers and just getting deflated. That they can't get those offers accepted.
I think and the most interesting. I think we wanted to talk today about the frustration in today's market.
Yeah.
I've been around for 19 years, and I know you've been around longer.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I don't think I've seen anything like this. I'm honest. What I'm saying is buyer's remorse. For the last 2 years of dealing with all these new agents coming out, not teaching the buyers the right way of doing things, now we're starting to see the remorse. So you get a deal, I get it, multiple offers, you got 10 offers, you get somebody in, 2 days later, oh no, then they change their mind.
Yeah.
How does that happen? What do you think's happening?
I think that to some degree they get caught up in this, I've gotta go up to this price level, and they may not be 100% comfortable with it, right? But they start to get that desperation mode of, I really need this place. I'm running out of options. I don't want to renew my lease, these type of feelings. And they may sign that contract and mom and dad may come along, or somebody else says, hey, are you overpaying for this thing?
Honestly, I blame more the agents. I don't think they're prepping them right.
Yeah.
I don't think they're telling, hey, listen, you didn't win, but I think I have an old saying that says, if you're in doubt, throw it out. Don't put an offer in it if you're not too sure. And then, oh yeah, let's do it. And then you tell them, all right, you won. You're all excited. You finally won. How many agents do you see putting on Facebook?
Oh yeah.
Oh, come check this out. Then 2 days later, the property's back on the market. I don't even get excited about that no more.
Back on the market.
One of the hardest things I'm doing now is just picking the right offer. And even then, I can't get it. I sold the same property, I think, 3 times in the last 3 months. Yeah. And I've done it about 4 or 5 times already. I just don't think the agents are ready.
Well, I also think that, the agents may not be ready, but there's part of, like you said, prepping that buyer also that, these values, they're not going to come down. That's this concern. Oh, am I overpaying? Am I, going over the list? The values aren't coming down. There's way too much pent up buyer pool out there that wants to buy a home for the past couple years. And yes, this is the craziest, most competitive we've ever seen it. But I don't see values coming down and getting a customer to understand. All right, you're gonna wait a year. They could be up 8%.
I'm going to differ with you on that one. Okay. I think prices have to come down. Supply and demand economics.
True.
Basic economics 101, right?
Yeah.
Once, you get rid of demand and supply starts to actually come back up, pricing has to come down. That's economics 101.
Yeah.
Problem is, even in the raising the rates, demand has gone down, but supply has not come up.
No.
What's causing that? Hey, we're supposed to be vice versa. We're supposed to see houses stay in the market, and it's not happening.
Well, there's a lot of people that got great rates, refied and all that in the last few years. Yeah. And, they may think about selling, but then when they see where things are now, they go, well, maybe I'm going to wait, right? But I will say that, the biggest pool of buyers that exists right now are 30 to 33 years old. And that is the largest group of young people in the history of our country.
Right.
So, these young people have not bought a home and they've been priced out in some ways. So we're going to see it level off, but I still think we're a year or two away. Honestly.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
They are going to come down, but not immediately.
Yeah.
I think right now, most agents don't understand how to present to sellers the opportunity of how to be able to still purchase in today's market and sell, and not worry about not being without a home.
Yeah.
And I think you and I got a good idea of what we need to be doing different to guide the new sellers to go ahead and start the purchase and then immediately be able to do something. But we need the inventory.
Right.
I don't have it.
Yeah. Buyer, the seller looks at it and goes, wait a minute, Pablo, there's only 8 houses in the area that I want to buy on the market. And we've looked at 4 of them and they're terrible. And, and that's where another piece has come in. We've done a couple now recently, renovation loans, because some of these that are a little bit of a clunker that has been on the market, man, you could make it your dream home, right?
Now, I'll be honest with you. I hate renovation loans. Maybe I'm old school, But
Yeah.
oh my God, all the red tape, you got to deal with this.
There is.
What's your take on it? Are you seeing it be easier? So that you have your HUD people already lined up?
It's prepping the buyer. So when you get a buyer that's thinking about doing it, it's right away saying, all right, before you even start this process, you need to start interviewing contractors.
Okay.
Because if you don't have a contractor lined up and ready to go through that property with you and start working on what you want to get done in this thing, that's the biggest delay. We just closed one. It was 35 days start to finish because the buyer had the contractor. We got the HUD consultant out there. They were there together, laid it all out. I mean, still took the builder, the contractor, 2 weeks to get the bid together. But once we got that, we could order the appraisal and we were done.
Well, that's a good way of getting some properties financed, because a lot of these rehab properties are not doable. And agents like me that remember these things, I mean, that's just nothing but a dead end going nowhere.
Yeah.
What would you do different to kind of help agents like me say, hey, look, I already got this? Or I mean, do you do the pre-calls, or do you say, hey, listen, I got this offers in, but listen, I got it, trust me? Or I mean, what's your
Well, I think what we're doing with buyers, especially when they're in that lower end of pricing in the communities they're looking in, we open their eyes to it, saying, hey, in our folder packet we send them renovation information, saying, listen, if you find one that it doesn't check all the boxes, but the bones of it does, and you can take and add a kitchen, $30,000. It's going to change your payment very little, and that's going to be better than the one down the block that was $30,000 more that still has the old kitchen. So
sounds like we're going to need a seminar. We're going to have to do a seminar for buyers. About these 2 or 3K. I mean, it's 2 or 3 cases.
2 or 3K, and there's Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and VA does a renovation.
And you do a pretty substantial amount.
We do them all.
Well, that's good to know.
And it's our company hangs on to them. Guaranteed Rate hangs on to them. So all the payouts to the contractors are all handled by us. So we've got great relationship with those people after the fact.
Right.
So
we kind of went over my frustration with what I'm seeing with agents that don't know how to prepare their buyers, or they're bidding and then they're losing, they're bidding, they're losing.
Yeah.
Just one thing for sure, we know it's a small world.
Yes, it is.
It's going to reflect on them later, because they're going to have another agent, or they're going to have another client that's going to put an offer, and I'm going to remember them.
Yeah.
The other one is just putting offers and not getting through. So these guys have to learn sooner or later. As a lender, what's your biggest frustration?
I think some of our frustration is the lack of communication sometimes from the agent that isn't maybe full time, right? Mm-hmm. Or even some of the attorneys we don't work with regularly on trying to get them to communicate about, all right, our contract's accepted, home inspections getting ordered and getting done. Now we're negotiating. Where are we in the process, right? And being realistic with the customer. Oh, these are all very small things. You should get started on the loan because you're not walking away, right? They're simple things,
right?
Where they're put the fear. Well, let's send a letter out with all this stuff on there. Okay, great. But not communicating fully, and that way we can keep the process moving along. We want to close a loan in 2-3 weeks, but if it takes 2.5 weeks just to negotiate out the attorney review period, now everyone's.
Are you getting agents to ask you to give them a conventional pre-approval and then they don't want to switch to FHA on them? Are you getting that? I mean, that's an old trick I've seen.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
That's an annoying thing.
I've actually, and I had an agent tell me, well, you wouldn't work with me the way that I would like you to work with me, the way my guy does now, which is, he'll do that. He'll say, oh yeah, give me a 30% down approval and the buyer's really 5% down, or conventional. And
bait and switch.
And here's my biggest concern always, right? Being in this community for 37 years doing mortgages, I know a lot of the listing agents, right? My approval's on there. That offer gets accepted. I'm mud, right? I did that.
There's so many agents that don't know that I have access to all their sales and what they're doing every year. So believe it or not, I always check them.
Yeah.
I say, okay, I got multiple offers. Who is this agent? This guy said, he closed 60 properties in the last 12 months. This is a great team. This guy. And then I see this guy closed 2 in the last 2 years. Yeah. And this is the guy that says, this lender, I work with them all the time. Yeah. This guy really doesn't know that. I know the numbers. And then you've been around like I have. So you're smaller. If I see you give me a 30% down, then I find out, I gotta go FHA. Whoa. Yeah. Damn, what the hell? What happened?
Exactly.
You just made a switch down.
It's not fair to seller. It's not fair to anyone.
I don't think it's even going to be fair for the agents. They're going to find out down the road. Correct. They're going to run into us again. Correct. And then it's like, you might run into me again. I might see a pro. I said, no, this guy's the one that made the switch already. I don't trust you. You have your work ethics is not there.
You would hope, right?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
it's
we're
just
hoping.
not-
I think that's the frustration that we're
Heck
hoping
yeah.
these guys catch on that work ethic, that it's frustrating and it's going to come back and hunt them sooner or later.
Right.
And we're the ones struggling with it now.
You're trying to be honest and ethical because that's what we should all be. And when there's games being played, it's never good, right? And that's not something that we ever want to do, right? So
Yeah. That was my eating alarm.
there you go.
I gotta eat before 6 o'clock. I gotta eat before 6 o'clock, or I'll be in trouble. But no, don't worry. But we're drinking. That's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
well, hey, you know, it's.
I love
it's
enjoying
good.
these moments. I think sitting down and just going over some frustrations and this new. Honestly, I think this is just a new market I haven't seen before.
And there are a lot of new agents. I mean, there are just a lot of new agents, and you know how committed are they to the craft, right? I mean, we have a deal together right now with a listing agent didn't know there were 2 PIN numbers and can't figure out that the seller was divorced and didn't ask all the questions, didn't do the research up front to make sure that when they put it in the MLS that everything was accurate. So in some ways, the contract for the buyer didn't have the right information to give her the right payments and things like that.
Yeah, I've come across. I had an agent actually copy and paste another agent's email and put it and send me an offer on that email. She said, "I'm the team leader for." Hey, you're not the team leader. I called. So what? Oh, I'm sorry. I did some well, really? You just took somebody else's stuff, put it on here, because they just don't know what to do, and that's scary. It's scary. It's scary for that buyer. It's scary for my seller. Because if I pick this one that offered $20,000 over and find out that so after you lose so many, the seller's like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?"
And,
I start looking back.
And when they are going over, I mean, are you saying to your seller, "Hey, listen, we don't know where it's going to price. I mean, we don't, right? I mean, be prepared here."
That's another one. I think that's going to be a topic of our next frustrating moment.
Because that one we could go on and on about.
We're going to pick this up today just to try to sit here and just let's see what the weekend brings. Thank you for coming. I appreciate it, buddy.
Pleasure.
We got a lot more coming, and
Appreciate the invite.
we'll do some more. What is this called?
This is BARTALK with
BARTALK.
right?
That's it. It's going to be BARTALK. We're going to get a little more creative on the next one.
All right. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Have a good one.